All right, everybody, we're joined now by head coach Clay Helton from Georgia Southern. Coach, would you give us an opening statement on spring practice?
Yeah, obviously, great opportunity for us this spring with 18 newcomers that entered this semester. It was really nice going all the way through March to have consistency and leadership with an offensive coordinator, special teams coordinator, your strength and conditioning coach, and then all of a sudden the NFL cycle took hold, and Will Harris got a great opportunity, our defensive coordinator, to go to the San Diego Chargers, and happy for him. It gave us the opportunity to bring an Eagle back into the fold, and Brandon Bailey, who was at Buffalo, who we competed against in the bowl game, comes in as our defensive coordinator and brings a system that matches a lot of the personnel that we've been recruiting to over the last two cycles. And so have been really pleased with what I've seen. This morning was our 11th practice. We've got two scrimmage opportunities left this Saturday in our spring game on April 22nd. And it's going very well. Obviously being the second year in an offensive system with a lot of returners, offense is a little bit ahead, but defense is catching up really fast. It's been a very competitive, physical spring, and it's been nice to get some new entries in the fall with 18 newcomers this spring. So with that, I'll answer any questions that you got.
Yep, for our media on the call, raise your hand and I'll call on you to ask your questions. We'll throw it over to Noah to start things off.
Coach, good to see you again. You mentioned bringing in the new defensive coordinator, Brandon Bailey. Obviously, it's no secret that the offense was as good as it gets last year for this team, but defense was a bit of a struggle. What have you guys done differently this offseason to try to shore up that unit and to help you guys, win more ball games this fall?
Yeah, we had some major injuries going in the month of November. It seemed like every time we turned around, we had more on the defensive side. One, we've gotten a lot healthier, and we've brought in additional personnel, especially on the defensive front, as well as almost remaking a back end with some of the transfers that you've seen come in the spring. So I think we're a deeper football team on defense and a healthier football team on defense. Now we incorporate a little bit of a new wrinkle in a new system that was very successful last year for Buffalo and for Coach Bailey. The thing that really intrigued me about Brandon's system was just the production it did as far as getting the ball back, and that fits our offense. They're seventh in the country in turnovers last year and acquiring turnovers, as well as the top third in the country in third down efficiency. And so, that's one of the things. We played in a lot of close ball games last year. That some of them we won, some of them we've lost late. And now looking to hopefully separate in games. And that happens when you get the ball back. And that's what Brandon's known for. And that's what they did at Buffalo last year. So that's where I hope our area of growth is this year.
Quick follow-up too, just about the offensive side of the football. Obviously, Kyle puts up huge numbers last year, but he does it without some of his best wide receivers at the end of the year. You guys have a deeper room this year. You're healthy. How excited are you about that wide receiver room and what that could provide, the quarterback that's to be determined?
Yeah, we have a true two, kind of 2.5, 3 deep now, with guys that any one of them can walk out there. And I think that's going to help us. We had a lot of newcomers. When I think of Marcus Sanders and Jet Thompson, Dalen Cobb, that all of a sudden are a year older. And we brought in, some veteran leadership in Anthony Quealy from Syracuse, who's having a great spring. Jalen Barden from Pittsburgh, who's having a great spring. So you're seeing and then DeAndre Buchanan, who's just electric out of Carver High School out of Atlanta. We're seeing a really deep core right now that I really don't care which four are out there. They're all making plays. And so, you bring in a guy like Davis Brin, JC French, being able to learn this system and have those type of weapons around. They're doing a nice job this spring distributing the ball to them.
All right, let's go over to Luke.
Coach, this time last year, we were talking about how excited the Sun Belt Conference could be in its first year as a 14-team league. 1 year later, you've been through kind of the rung of the East Division. And, how do you think it lived up to expectations?
Well, it's awful exciting. I don't know if you could get any more exciting than a double overtime game versus App State. Down to the wire and a shootout versus James Madison. Another shootout on the road versus Coastal Carolina. It's one of those leagues that from top to bottom, it's ultra competitive. And it's one of the reasons that you see this conference being nationally talked about. We accomplished some great things, not only within our conference, but when we got the opportunities to compete outside the conference too. You see some huge wins by Marshall, by App State, by Georgia Southern. So it's one of those leagues that I think the nation is looking at going, wow, that league is trending upward fast. And that's going to be important as we move forward, as you talk about the playoff discussions and expansions of playoff and how strong this league is, because you're seeing teams over the last couple of years. You saw Cincinnati with it a couple of years ago, saw Tulane with it last year, and mark my words, there'll be somebody that comes out of this conference in 2 years that will be on a national scope that you'll be talking about, hey, team should be in the playoff, and hopefully it's Georgia Southern.
Let's go over to Joe for one final question.
Coach, you mentioned some of the guys that are competing for that starting quarterback job. Do you feel like there's a clear front runner in that regard yet?
Yeah, Davis is doing a wonderful job, and it's expected. I mean, you talked about a guy that's played a lot of football at Tulsa, and it kind of reminds us of Kyle's situation. He, a guy that's been really successful 2 years ago with Coach Montgomery. Got beat up a little bit last year with some injuries, but man, his skill set is dynamic. And veteran leadership, knows how, great decision maker, knows how to deliver the ball accurately, get the ball out on time, and then you got this gunslinger and JC French that is really, provides some wow. He's learning. He's a redshirt freshman. He looks like a redshirt freshman at times, but both guys are ultra talented. If we had to play today, you would put Davis out there, just being real, being honest. But you got a lot of practice to go, and these guys love to compete. And I've always believed, who's playing the best in the moment, and Coach Ellis is doing a nice job of taking 4 to 5 quarterbacks, putting them out there and giving them opportunities. But Davis would be ahead right now, just being real.
Thanks, Coach.